Inside the Magic, show number 345 for November 13th, 2011. It is Sunday, November 13th, 2011. This is show 345 of Inside the Magic, and as always, I'm your host, Ricky Briganti. We do have another great show packed with Disney and theme park news and a whole lot more fun. Before we get to all of that, I invite you to visit InsideTheMagic.net. There you'll find all of our podcasts, videos, photos, news, articles, and so much more. And if you ever have any news, tips, or questions, you can write to me at ricky@InsideTheMagic.net, or you can call, leave a message at 407-494-4ITM. That's 4486, and you never know, you might hear your voice here on the show. And now, let's get started with the show. This week's episode of Inside the Magic is brought to you by Magical Travel. The Disney Cruise Line is closer than ever with sailings from New York, Galveston, and Los Angeles, so book your Disney Cruise vacation today for the best pricing and receive free shipboard credit. You can do all that by calling Magical Travel today over at 866-207-8387, or you can visit them online at magicaltravel.com to receive a free price quote. And be sure to mention Inside the Magic to receive your free Disney gift card for qualifying bookings when you book your Disney vacation with Magical Travel. And by Audible, get a free audiobook download over at audibletrial.com/InsideTheMagic and have access to more than 85,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player, and you support Inside the Magic with every sign-up as well. I also want to say thank you to Dana Gold and all of our monthly recurring donation subscribers, anybody who puts in a single donation, or if you're going to be doing some Christmas shopping this holiday season, please do so through InsideTheMagic.net/Amazon. Any purchases made through that link will get credit for, and we thank you very much for that. So now, with all that said, let's jump right into our trip around the world. A fair amount of pretty big news coming out this week in the worlds of Disney and other theme parks as well. So let's not delay. Let's jump right into it. And I think the biggest news, well, at least one of the biggest stories this week, was some additional details released by Disney about the upcoming Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom interactive experience that's being installed into, well, of course, the Magic Kingdom. It's something along the lines of the Kim Possible World Showcase Adventure interactive, go around and trigger certain things in the park, but it also has quite the element of the midship detective agency that's on the Disney Dream cruise ship, presumably will be on the Disney Fantasy cruise ship, and that's because of the new details that Disney has released this week. They released a few new images because they are actually now playtesting this experience in the Magic Kingdom, but don't rush out thinking you're going to have a chance to see it because, well, they're only playtesting with cast members at this point, but they did release some pictures in Adventureland of some of the interactive elements that'll be there. There's a fireplace, showing it sort of coming alive, and there's a certain recognizable villain from The Lion King in there. There's also some tile that has come alive in the outdoor area of Adventureland, and what people really noticed, and this is a new detail about the Sorcerers in the Magic Kingdom, is it's actually going to involve some magic spell trading cards. It's not going to be like Kim Possible over at Epcot where you're handed a cell phone or any kind of an electronic device. You're actually somehow going to get these different cards, each representing a magic spell. The one that they've shown off so far, of course, has Sorcerer Mickey on it with the enchanted brooms dancing around. Has some details on the bottom of it as far as what that card can do. It says Charming Attack 4, Charming Boost 1, and Charming Shield 1. And it actually has a number in the bottom left that says 1 of 70. So who knows? There might be 70 cards, maybe 70 of this particular kind of card. Regardless, you're gonna use these cards while going around the Magic Kingdom. Once you find, you're gonna be looking for magic symbols with the goal of defeating the villains that are aimed at taking over the park. the best news of all, a lot of people were thinking, oh, there's going to be trading cards, you're going to have to buy these, and it's going to be an add-on experience. Well, no, Disney has said that Sorcerers in the Magic Kingdom will indeed be included in park admission when it debuts next year. In the meantime, you might see some people playtesting it throughout the park, but it is not available for guests to experience quite yet. They're still working on installing it. It will be sometime in early 2012 that Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, the experience, will debut. Now, back at the D23 Expo a few months ago, in August, I had spoken to an Imagineer who kind of outlined a timeline for when elements of the new Fantasyland expansion at the Magic Kingdom would be rolling out. And the first phase that he had mentioned has once again now been confirmed by the Winter 2011 edition of the Mickey Monitor, the Walt Disney World Annual Pass newsletter. The first phase that will open as part of the new Fantasyland expansion will be bits of Storybook Circus, not the whole thing, but the first section of it, which will include a Casey Jr. water play area, a new version of Goofy's Barnstormer, of course themed around the Great Goofini, and here's the interesting bit, half of the much-touted Double Dumbo will be opening. The second half, basically there's two separate double Dumbo carousels that are spin next to each other. Well, one of them will open, and then the second one will follow in the near future, as Disney puts it. Well, so what's most likely happening is they're going to build one, and then they're going to move the existing one, or at least parts of it, over to form the second one. The design of the new Dumbo is going to be slightly different. It'll be sort of more fancy looking than the current one, but I'm sure they'll reuse ride vehicles on a lot of the mechanism from the existing one. But of course, Disney doesn't want to close the existing Dumbo until at least a Dumbo is open. You wouldn't want to have a Dumbo-less Magic Kingdom. So that's sort of the timeline. Of course, there is no specific date or month just yet, but that'll all happen early 2012 as well, for when the beginnings of New Fantasyland, and specifically Storybook Circus, will be accessible for the first time. And along the same lines, just a few days ago, the Disney Parks blog hosted a first-ever live chat online with Imagineer Chris Beatty, and in the chat they didn't reveal a whole lot that was new. They took a lot of questions and answered a lot of questions that were heavily moderated and specifically selected. A lot of it was rehash of things we already knew, but they did reveal one small bit of new concept art we hadn't seen before for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster. It was nothing terribly exciting. It was really just another view of the ride vehicles and a bunch of cartoony-looking people looking very happy to be riding it, but it should be a lot of fun. I would like to see more chats like this. I think it's a great idea to have a one-on-one interaction with Imagineers. It would just be nice to have more new information to actually come out, or at least some really live Q&A rather than this heavily moderated as it was. But still a great idea. I'm happy to see Disney doing it. Sticking with the Fantasyland theme here, a quick name change has happened over near the Mad Tea Party. Fantasyland's Enchanted Grove, it's not really a restaurant, it's a place where you can grab some drinks and sort of a little off to the side, snack sort of area. It's actually been renamed. It's now the Cheshire Cafe, of course named for the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And recently I had mentioned something called Project Exotic, in which Walt Disney World and the Richard Petty driving experience would begin to offer some exotic cars, not stock cars, not Indy cars, but Lamborghini, Ferrari, etc., things like that, available for drives and rides. Well, now the final name of that experience has been decided on. It's going to be called the Exotic Driving Experience, and they have a new website, and on the website you can make a reservation. It also revealed some of the pricing for the experience for thrill rides, as they're putting it, in which you'll be riding only, not driving. It'll cost $99 and include 2 laps as a passenger, and then if you want to drive, there's a variety of pricing depending on which type of vehicle you want to drive. It's going to be $199 for the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, all the way up to, that's the least expensive drive, all the way up to $389 for the Ferrari 458. That includes 6 laps, and additional laps can be purchased. So, it's certainly a different experience coming to Walt Disney World, the Walt Disney World Speedway, just outside the Magic Kingdom. And I hope to get a chance to try that when it debuts in January of 2012. And over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Neverland pirate Jake from Disney Jr. is now apparently going to be joining the Hollywood and Vine Play and Dine character dining experience as of a couple of days from now. And as of today, November 13th, he's replacing Leo. Apparently, he'll be joining Handy Manny, June, and Special Agent Oso. Walt Disney World pass holders are going to be having access to an extra special treat this year, beginning December 2nd for while supplies last. It's a complimentary calendar being distributed for pass holders at Disney Outfitters in Disney's Animal Kingdom. The calendar features a different Disney art print for each month, so 12 of them total. But, of course, supplies are limited, so if you're a Disney World pass holder, you're going to want to go out there as soon as possible to pick up your free calendar. Now let's turn away from Disney here for something else that was actually very big news that we'll be talking more about later in this week's show, but just real briefly here, SeaWorld Orlando has announced plans of a big expansion to their parks here for 2012 and 2013. Of course, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter was a big expansion for Universal. New Fantasyland's a big expansion for Disney, and now SeaWorld is following suit with their own Waves of the Future, as they are calling it. The expansion will include at SeaWorld Orlando a new 3D movie called Turtle Trek. Not Turtle Talk, but Turtle Trek, and it's said to be a hyper-real 3D film projected on a dome, so completely surrounding guests, not just, it's, think circle vision like Timekeeper, etc., but all the way around you, including above you, and it will be in 3D CG film that'll be opening in 2012. They also announced a big new realm for SeaWorld called Antarctica Empire of the Penguin, and this is the biggest announcement that they made. The scale and scope of this part of the project apparently is going to be along the lines of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or New Fantasyland is going to be a massive expansion to the park featuring large amounts of ice and a ride, and it's actually going to replace the existing penguin encounter. And it's apparently going to feature a ride that will be the coldest theme park attraction in the world. That's right, not biggest, not fastest, not most thrilling, but the coldest. They declined to say exactly how cold that means, but apparently it'll be pretty darn cold. Then over at Discovery Cove, a new area called the Freshwater Oasis is going to be opening up in 2012. I should mention Antarctica is for 2013. The Freshwater Oasis for Discovery Cove is going to open in 2012, and that will be a flooded rainforest trail in which swimmers will be surrounded by trees and have close encounters with Asian otters and marmoset monkeys. And as I said, we will have more on those big announcements, more details coming up a little bit later in this week's show. But moving on now, sticking outside of Disney here for a moment, we're coming up on TV on November 24th, which will be Thanksgiving, on CNBC at 10 p.m. will be a special called The Wizarding World of Harry Potter Revealed. It's a 30-minute special that will be showing the creation of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So any Potter fans out there will definitely want to at least DVR that. You might be sleeping after a big Thanksgiving meal, or you might be heading out to the stores for the midnight openings for Black Friday. Either way, it sounds like that'll be fun to watch. And also related to Universal, I'm still hanging on to Halloween as much as I possibly can, even though we are well moving into the holiday/Christmas season. Well, just a few days ago this week, I posted what is likely going to be my final sort of imagery recap sort of post from Halloween Horror Nights. And this one, I invite you to relive Halloween Horror Nights 2011 with 40 minutes of fear. That's right, 40 solid video minutes, uncut from all the scare zones around Halloween Horror Nights, as well as I've also posted some 360-degree virtual views from within Halloween Horror Nights, where you can click and drag around and look around the scare zones. So if you find yourself, like me, missing the experience of going to there, this helps to ease that post-event depression a little bit and make you feel like you're there once more. And along along the same subject, this weekend, premiering at the Orange County Regional History Center, is a new exhibit all about the artwork from Universal Orlando for the past 10 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer. It's a new exhibit that is basically aimed at it's not really a theme park exhibit, but rather it is showing off the artwork of the theme parks, really paying tribute and educating about what different sort of creative elements go into creating events like Halloween Horror Nights and Mardi Gras and Grinchmas. Really, those are the three that the exhibit really focuses on. It's called The Serious Art of Make-Believe, and it's going to be at the History Center. Debuts this weekend. It's going to be there through April. I had a chance to preview it just a few days ago. If you head on over to InsideTheMagic.net, you'll see plenty of pictures throughout the exhibit, but certainly not of everything. If you're a fan of any of those events or just theme park design in general, I really do recommend that you go over there. It's a really nice exhibit. It's not a huge exhibit, but it's really packed with a lot of great artwork. Universal gave the History Center really unprecedented access to its archives, let them flip through all their artwork books, go through their prop warehouse, and really just pull everything in. And it's exciting to see all of that up close and in person. And here's some good news for travelers to Orlando. Super Shuttle is launching a new an expanded shared ride van service from Orlando International Airport, going to and from Orlando hotels in downtown, the convention center area, and the major attraction areas. That'll all begin February 1st of 2012. For more information and to book reservations, you can go to supershuttle.com/Orlando. And now let's jump overseas real briefly to Disneyland Paris, where in April 2012, Disneyland Paris is going to be premiering its celebration of its 20th anniversary. And amongst other celebrations, it will include a new show called Dreams. And this is a sort of a World of Color-ish show, though it is not World of Color. It's something a little bit different. It's going to have Disney storytelling combined with special effects. There will be colorful fountains and the like, but it's not going to be totally identical to World of Color, but it certainly sounds like an interesting and exciting, colorful show. And this week, a new partnership online was announced from Disney. Sort of a surprising partnership. It's between Disney and YouTube. They're going to be creating a new channel on YouTube strictly for Disney. It's a Disney-branded channel featuring original kid-friendly content. Both Disney and YouTube together are investing about $10 to $15 million into this channel. Disney.com is once again going to receive an overhaul, and this time, rather than Disney trying to do their own video thing, they're really going to start to use YouTube and utilize the massive audience that YouTube can offer. This is where that web series I recently mentioned featuring Swampy the alligator about the Where's My Water app. The web series is going to debut on this Disney YouTube channel. Also included in the channel will be select amateur video. Not clear exactly what that means, but Disney has said they're going to pull in other content that they did not create. And Disney does not expect to hire anybody new to manage this channel. They're just going to utilize existing staff. And in the world of business, just a couple of days ago, Disney released their latest financial results, and they have done very, very well. In their fourth fiscal quarter, their net income rose this year. Their net income rose by 30% over last year. They chalk it up to higher spending by theme park visitors. Revenue is up just in general. However, they did say the price for their TV ads that they're selling have slowed a bit. Their net income July through September was $1.09 billion this year, whereas last year, over the same period, it was $835 million, so a big, big jump. It was also noted in Bob Iger actually noted that Pirates of the Caribbean 5, the fifth movie in the series, is in sort of pre-production at this point. There are certainly seem to have the go-ahead to produce a new Pirates film, and they're working on that, as well as Disney has said they have reached a deal with Sony in regards to the Spider-Man movies, of course, Sony has been, behind those very popular Spider-Man films in Hollywood. However, with Disney now owning Marvel, they wanted to make sure that the agreement between them was proper. So Sony is going to keep on producing the Spider-Man films on their own. However, Disney is going to be getting a cut of the profits for Spider-Man movie products. So it's really the merchandise is going to Disney, whereas the films themselves going to Sony. And recently I reviewed Disney Universe, the video game that is available for a number of systems. Well, if you're not sure still if you want to pick up a copy of that game, you can now download a demo of Disney Universe for free on the Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. And also beginning December 12th, Best Buy stores nationwide will have demos of Disney Universe available for playing right there in the store. And also in the world of video games, Kinect Disneyland Adventures, a game a lot of people are looking forward to, is coming out this Tuesday. And I would love to tell you all about it because I've been playing it for a few days now. I received a review copy. However, my thoughts are closed and unavailable until Tuesday. They don't want me to share any opinions until the game actually comes out. So check on over to InsideTheMagic.net for a full review along with a lot of gameplay videos showing off some particularly interesting elements. That's all I can say. I can't say whether I liked it or not just yet, but you'll have to head over to InsideTheMagic.net. Actually, Monday night at midnight Eastern Time, really Tuesday morning, is when I can officially share my thoughts, and then probably next week on the show, I'll talk more about it here as well. But Kinect Disneyland Adventures, of course, is available exclusively for Xbox 360 because you have to have a Kinect, and you can pre-order it at the moment over on Amazon. Of course, if you do it there, you can support Inside the Magic, and then it comes out on Tuesday. And there is something called the Delightful Living Program from Disney Consumer Products, and they have announced this week their grand prize for a contest that they are running, and the grand prize is a trip for four to a special Disney Magic of Healthy Living experience at a Disney resort in 2012. The contest is running now through December 11th on the Delightful Living portal on Disney Consumer Products' official Facebook page, Disney Living. I know that's a little bit confusing. Basically, go on Facebook, look for Disney Living, and that's you'll look for the Delightful section, and that's where you can find how to enter. There was a Magic of Healthy Living event way back at the beginning of this year at Epcot, but they haven't said exactly where the next one will be held in 2012. And final bit of Disney news this week is something I'm quite disappointed about because I've been enjoying this series quite a bit. This week, the final comics from Boom Studios for Darkwing Duck and DuckTales were released. It's Darkwing Duck number 18, DuckTales number 6. It's actually a crossover for 4 issues now, these two and then the 2 prior, where both universes have collided, and they're really wrapping up the whole storyline because Disney has basically pulled their licenses away from Boom, and no word yet as to whether they plan on continuing these comic series, resurrecting these old Disney afternoon characters. I've really been enjoying their return in comic form. I'd love to see them come back on TV or in the parks or really anywhere, but it's, Disney hasn't said if Marvel will be taking over these comics and continuing the stories, or if this is really it once again for Darkwing and Scrooge and the whole gang, which would definitely be disappointing. But at least we've gotten this far, so if you've been collecting them all along and reading them all along, this will be your final chance for the moment from Boom Studios to pick up those comics. And that is it for your news from around the world this week. And this week's tip comes in from me, and I've actually got 3 tips to share based on my experience at the Magic Kingdom just a few nights ago. I was there to see the holiday version of the Magic, the Memories, and You, which we'll be sharing here in just a few minutes. And when I was there on Main Street getting my tripod ready to record the show, I witnessed a few things that were a little bit annoying, and I thought I would share these as tips to try to reduce the annoyance factor in in the future. Number one, if you must put your child on your shoulders to watch the Magic, the Memories, and You on the Cinderella Castle, or maybe a fireworks show, you might want to look behind you first and see if you're not blocking someone, particularly someone who's been standing there for quite a while, and you just kind of waltzed up and got right in front of him and say, hey, I'm just going to put my kid on the shoulders. Try not to wait until the very moment the show starts to pick up your kid and putting them on your shoulders, giving those behind you absolutely no chance to move around you to see better. Just a tip there. Number two, if your kid happens to be wearing mouse ears or holding, a giant blinking Mickey balloon, or maybe even wearing very large Tinkerbell wings, kindly lower or remove these items before placing your kid on your shoulders. They tend to block the view even worse when there's big Tinkerbell wings in the way. Number three, if you insist on using an iPad as a video camera in the theme park, as goofy as it is, don't hold it above your head during a show, a particularly nighttime show, blocking everybody behind you. It's one thing to raise up a little camera, a little point-and-shoot camera with a 2-inch LCD, but it's another to raise a 10-inch glowing screen in the air for 10 minutes. So just a few courtesy sort of tips if you want not only you, but everybody else to also enjoy some shows. A few recommendations. I certainly understand wanting to put your kids on your shoulders. I'm not saying don't do that because kids can't see. They're very short, but try to be as courteous as possible for those behind you. Everyone else out there, you can email your tips into tips@insidethemagic.net. And before we get to this week's features here on the show, I do want to put in a quick word about Lanyard Lab. If you've got a business you're looking to promote, or maybe you're around a school or a church or any organization where you need to wear a name tag around your neck, best way to do that is actually to customize the lanyard that you'll be wearing. You can put any text, any logo, any colors on these lanyards. We can do all that for you over at lanyardlab.com. Actually, when you go over there, just click on the Get a Quote form, fill it out, send it to us, and submit all your information. We'll email you back with a complete price quote for your design, along with a proof showing you exactly what your design will look like on a lanyard. It is totally free to preview, no obligation to purchase whatsoever, and if you like what you see, you can easily purchase it right there online at lanyardlab.com. And as I mentioned, I was at the Magic Kingdom very recently to catch the first public showing of the Magic, the Memories, and You Holiday Edition, or Christmas Edition. Disney has updated this impressive Cinderella Castle projection show for the Christmas season, and on Thursday was the first chance for people not attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party to see it. On nights when the party is going on, it happens right before the Christmas fireworks, which of course are only part of the party, so regular day guests for the Magic Kingdom cannot see the Magic, the Memories, and You, but then on non-party nights, it once again takes place right before regular wishes, and they still include the holiday segment. So I actually want to share it with you right now. Of course, I recorded it. This recording, if you're watching on the video version of the show, you'll see video of the show. If you're just listening, it does feature binaural audio, so you're going to want to put on headphones to feel like you're really there on a very crowded Main Street, USA, watching this new holiday version of the show. Now, the show's about 10 minutes long or so, and most of it is exactly the same as it has been since it debuted a number of months ago, way back at the beginning of the year. However, at about 6 minutes or so into the show is when the Christmas segment begins, and it lasts about 2 minutes, and that's when you're going to want to listen for it. So enjoy the Magic, the Memories, and You at the Magic Kingdom.
The Magic, the Memories, and You.
And then when it lights up again, we'll take another picture.
Film me doing something dopey so I can remember.
Tinkerbell.
Same one. Same one.
every drop that must be done there is an element of fun.
From all of us and all of you, happy holidays.
Pilot's right now.
was the Magic, the Memories, and You Christmas edition. Just debuted this week. We'll continue throughout the holiday season, or the Christmas season, really. The audio was good, of course, to listen to there, but the video is better. So if you're watching the video version of this week's show, you can definitely see it there, or a full high-definition version I have also included over on our YouTube channel and at InsideTheMagic.net, along with a few select Main Street area Christmas photos that I took on the way out after the show during the Wishes fireworks. I have a couple of comments to make about this Christmas version of the Magic, Memories, and You. The 2-minute segment is very good. I really enjoyed what they did for it. I felt like it was a little bit too short. I actually rather would have seen the entire show become a Christmas version of the show. I think there's so much that they could have played with instead of cramming it into that 2 minutes and really rapid fire going through all the different visuals. I thought it was, gingerbread and wrapping the castle in wrapping paper and colored lights and snowfall and all of that. Looked really good, but all of it went by so quickly. I wanted to see more of it. I thought it was kind of interesting. Well, I should mention that somewhere in the midst of all of that, you might recognize a certain sort of a pink nightmare, if you will, that Disney fans will be familiar with from the 25th anniversary of Walt Disney World. The castle was overlaid with a cake for quite a while. It became an infamous sight at Walt Disney World, and I guess it's back very briefly during this holiday update to the Magic, the Memories, and You, for better or for worse. I thought it was interesting that at the beginning, Jiminy Cricket said Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, even though it's clearly a Christmas update to the show. So I think they should have just probably said, a very Merry Christmas, as Jiminy Cricket always has said many times. But anyway, Santa Claus is at the end of the sequence. Clearly Santa is Christmas, but anyway, one other note, you might have noticed the guy near me during that at the beginning and somewhere in the middle and once again, and then I don't think you heard it at the end. It may have happened afterwards. He was really looking forward to seeing Tinkerbell fly from the castle, as she does before the fireworks. So I don't think the message is quite clear for everybody at the Magic Kingdom that the Magic, the Memories, and You is a different show than the Wishes fireworks spectacular. I'm sure, hopefully he lingered for another few minutes or so and did see Wishes and saw Tinkerbell flying after that. But you won't see Tinkerbell fly during the Magic, the Memories, and You, and particularly not during the part where it's Pirates of the Caribbean and the castle is on fire, where he thought he saw Tinkerbell at the top. But anyway, a very entertaining update to the Magic, the Memories, and You. You should definitely, if you're not going to be there in person to see it, head out to our YouTube channel or InsideTheMagic.net to see it for yourself. So with that Disney Christmas update, I want to turn over to a different park now. We're going to head on over to SeaWorld Orlando, where I would like to share more about the big expansion announcement that was announced this week. It's, as I said earlier, a lot of really good excitement going in the world of theme parks nowadays, beginning with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter becoming a huge boost for Universal Orlando, really reshaping the way people are thinking about what a themed experience is like. Disney, of course, is working on the new Fantasyland expansion, which is not necessarily a response to the Wizarding World, because Fantasyland has been in the works for quite a while now, but it's certainly a project that is now following the Wizarding World, and people are having their expectations raised by the Wizarding World as to what will be in New Fantasyland. And then there's SeaWorld, the other of kind of the big three theme park groups in Orlando. Well, SeaWorld didn't want to be left behind, of course, so they have been cooking up this idea to expand their parks, not only with a couple of new attractions for 2012, but a major expansion along the lines of those other two for 2013. And rather than me telling you all about it, I have somebody who is much more qualified to do so because he is the creative director over at SeaWorld Orlando. His name is Brian Morrow. I spoke to him quite a while ago when Manta opened, the roller coaster that I absolutely love. One of my favorites, if not my favorite roller coaster in Orlando. And he's definitely hugely involved in the creation of Antarctica, this new expansion for SeaWorld, as well as the other two experiences. And I spoke to him during the announcement, or just after the announcement at SeaWorld a few days ago, all about it. And I want to share my chat with creative director of SeaWorld, Brian Morrow, for you right now. So let's hop on over to SeaWorld for that conversation. So we have three big announcements here at SeaWorld today, two for 2012, one for 2013. Let's start with what's coming up first here at SeaWorld. Can you tell me a little bit about Turtle Trek?
Turtle Trek is going to be the new attraction for 2012 at SeaWorld Orlando. And this attraction will allow our guests to learn about the amazing journey that these sea turtles take. They're going to see live sea turtles in the pre-show areas and then venture into a brand new Spherion Theater, which is a 3D, 360-degree experience. And it's the world's first. It's never been done before. And what this technology will allow us to do is take the guests on the journey of the sea turtle underwater without getting them wet. They're going to go through some amazing environments. We're creating the film ourselves. It's all original CGI. And it's best classified, I think, or topified as a hyper-real experience. The saturation colors of the film are so rich and so clear, and as soon as we put that content all around you and also up over the entire theater space, we'll be able to have animals like sea turtles swim in from a distance and actually continue overhead of the guests and then continue on. So it's going to be 3D over your head, so it makes it a very immersive solution for telling the story, this amazing story that the sea turtle actually has.
Okay, so you walk into this environment, you're saying this is something brand new, so describe it a little more. It's this dome that you walk in, and are you wearing glasses at the time?
I'll make it really easy. So pretend you take a globe, like everybody has on their desk. You cut it in half. You set it on your desk, and you shrink down, and you can walk inside of that. That is the theater space. And we'll have 195 guests inside the theater standing. There's lean rails for people to hold on to because we're putting so much content on this sphere that we can actually make people feel like they're actually moving and swimming forward, of course. The theater is so unique that it actually has no front point of view. We actually can change the point of view of the theater during the experience because it's in the round and people actually have to physically turn and move. So I can be watching the main content this direction, but on the back side of me is a whole nother little story taking place with some other secondary animals. So it's a really unique opportunity to fully immerse in what it really feels like to go diving underwater, but more importantly, traveling alongside as a turtle, seeing this world through a turtle point of view and her journey that she takes through many oceans over many, many years, about 22 years.
So you walk into this dome environment, you experience this. Are you wearing glasses to make it 3D?
It is a 3D glass experience, correct.
Okay. Do you feel like, I know circle vision sort of movies in the past have gone around you. Is this a whole new level on that concept?
This is the future of that concept. Putting the content seamlessly. There's no breaks in screens. This is a solid screen that is a dome. Below the floor that you're actually standing on, about 18 inches below where your feet are, the content wraps around all the way over the guests' heads, full circle, is the new part of the technology. Along with that comes what we call 3D audioscape. We have an array and a series of speakers hidden behind the screen that will actually allow us to move the sound specifically in a grid in what's called X, Y, and Z direction. So you can hear it here, and you'll actually hear the sound move in front of your face and come around to this ear, and then back around as the content is moving around as well. So between those two really new technologies, we're really able to tell what we hope to be the wonderful story of the sea turtle's journey.
Of course, SeaWorld Pictures was recently established. Is there a tie-in between this sea turtle experience and the recent turtle film that hit theaters?
The similarity is that we're telling the true story of the sea turtle. They're being done in very different medias. The motion picture was live filmed. Majority of it was all live filmed. This one is all computer generated because we're telling, that was an hour and a half film. We're actually telling a 22-year story in 6 minutes. That's theme park time, you got to be quick about it. So it's going to be action-packed, quick and fast. And as our turtle grows, we'll see ourselves in reflections of things underwater to tell that we're getting older as a turtle and that we're moving on our journey forward, growing up as an adult turtle.
Where's that going in the park?
It's going located at the Manatee Rescue Facility. We're able to use some of we have the manatees. They're still part of this attraction because they tell the story that humans can make a positive change and help animals that are in need, which we've done over the past 22 years at Manatee Encounter. But also it'll house the sea turtles as a new exhibit underwater in a pre-show area. I mean, what pre-show do you know of that has live interpretation and a wall of sea turtles? That's going to be incredible, live sea turtles. And then you'll move into the theater space, the third room, if you will. So the overall attraction is 18 minutes. We have the 2 pre-show spaces, and then we have the actual theater. And then when the guests leave, that's when they'll be activated and turned into ordinary heroes. Them themselves will become the heroes and stewards of the environment through a series of special effects that will be located in our retail facility, and they will instantaneously there make a difference to the good of sea turtles or manatees or our general conservation fund as well.
Excellent. Well, moving on to Discovery Cove. Of course, recently the Grand Reef opened, which left a former reef location in that park. Yeah, exactly. So what is going into there now?
That is where Freshwater Oasis is being built at the old location of the reef at Discovery Cove, and it opens as well in 2012 next spring. And this will be an experience that we don't have at Discovery Cove. We have a lot of things you can do at Discovery Cove, but I've always been fascinated with hiking through forests and natural waterways, freshwater, if you will. And there's a lot of interesting biodiversity and animal life and wildlife in these environments that are worth talking about and exploring. So the Freshwater Oasis will do just that. It's a series of trails in the forest that have been flooded from a recent rainstorm, and so they're ankle deep water, there's knee deep water, there's waist deep, and then there's some water you can actually swim in if you choose to. But most of it can be enjoyed just by wading with your family, so it's accessible to all level of swimmers. And along the way, you're going to find animals. You find a troop of marmosets that are going to be living just around the edge of the trail that you're walking through, and then Asian river otters. This wonderful little family of Asian river otters are going to swim side by side. You're going to be swimming in the water, and there's the otter swimming right next to you. So that's never been done before, and we're doing some reverse, what I call pop-ups. Instead of the kids popping into the exhibit, the otters will pop into the guest exhibit. So it's a reverse way of doing it, which will be interesting as well, because the otters will use everything because they're very active and like to play and explore. So they're a perfect little animal for this place.
It certainly sounds like an interesting mix. I think the birds are probably the only sort of land/air creatures that are in the park. Why the decision to now bring some other land animals into Discovery Cove?
Well, they serve the purpose of the animals that were selected allow us, they're fun, they're energetic, and they're above the water. Discovery Cove has primarily been, with the exclusion of the aviary, an experience that you kind of have, I draw a diagram, you're laying flat, swimming around, and I can see everything here in 270 degrees. So we really wanted to finish the circle of what it means to be in a fully immersive, real environment, not CGI, real animals, real plants, real water. So we wanted to focus the animals above the water. Otters are perfect because they go above and below. The marmosets are strictly tree and ground dwelling animals. Mm-hmm. So it really allowed us to tell the balance of the story of natural environments. And the animals were chosen because they're active and kids love them.
Great. Well, now both of those sound really exciting, but the promise of a new area and a new ride coming to Orlando is always what everybody's really excited about, especially theme park fans. And in 2013, you're bringing Antarctica to SeaWorld. What does that mean?
Yeah, the easiest way to describe it is you take the continent of Antarctica on the bottom of the globe, which is made 98% of ice. And most people can tell you where Antarctica is, but they can't tell you what happens there. They don't know the stories, and Antarctica is rich of stories, and no one's really ever told them. So we went and found those stories, and we're actually going to bring those stories and that environment into Central Florida, literally transplanting the continent of Antarctica into Central Florida at SeaWorld Orlando.
So this area, or I guess you call it realms.
We call them realms, yes.
Here at SeaWorld. Well, first, where's it going to go in the park?
It's going to be located at the site of the old penguin encounter and all the surrounding area. So it's kind of cornered by Journey to Atlantis, Manta, Sea Lion, and Otter. So that whole space, we actually have a big piece of property there hiding in between all those buildings that are there. So that's the footprint of the new expansion realm. And we're going to reorganize the whole area development around it.
So the current penguin experience that people have been familiar with for many years is going away, and Antarctica is moving in?
Correct. Yeah, we're saving some offices.
Okay.
Because they're in good shape. We're saving them.
So you walk into Antarctica and you see just ice around you?
Yeah, the ice, it's the largest rockwork package that we've ever developed, and it's got its own fabulous little story. I don't want to bore you with all the details right now, but we wanted to bring the scale of Antarctica, true scale, to Orlando. And so the space that the Antarctica is actually located in, it's a glacier formation called a glacier rift. That's where Antarctica is for us. That's the snapshot of the environment that we're going to build full scale in SeaWorld Orlando. So that means we're going to see ice up to 55 feet tall. We're going to see ice that is clear, and we're going to see ice that changes colors.
This is a major addition to the park.
It's really enormous. It is a true realm. We like to say it's a world within a world. It does live within SeaWorld, but once you enter it, you will be completely immersed in the land of ice, epic ice.
And then once you're inside, other than marveling at 55 feet worth of ice around you, there's going to be some sort of a ride?
There's multiple things that you get to do inside of Antarctica, and I won't tell you about all of them right now. We'll get to that later, I'm sure, when we release that information. But the center pin of the Antarctic realm is the ride attraction. And this ride was developed to provide us, literally we developed the script for the experience and the script for the ride for the guests. And then we went to our ride engineering team and said, hey, can you do this? And they came back and said, yeah, we can. We couldn't believe we could, but we could. Because we had a lot of requirements and parameters for the ride. We wanted everybody to be able to ride. We wanted to be different occasionally when you ride it and have different experiences, and we wanted it to allow us to see the ice and the experience from the eyes of a penguin, and we want to put people in all those environments, physical environments that you'll be moving through as a rider and experiencing.
So you say it's a ride, you're going to be sitting and experiencing something around you, but you can't say any more about what exactly that is?
That's correct, but it will be the coldest attraction ever constructed. There will be temperatures. There will be everything that's in Antarctica will be in this ride experience for the guests to experience. And they're going to do it all through the eyes of a very special little cute penguin who you're going to meet later as we move into launching more about the attraction.
Who will be some sort of character related to the ride.
Very special little penguin, yes.
And you say it's the coldest attraction. What does that mean? I mean, are we talking freezing? Are people in shorts going to be shivering their way through the ride? Or?
We are true to nature, our company, and we take some liberties to make sure their entertainment always is included, but we wanted to bring that experience to the guests. So if that means being in freezing temperatures, that means being in freezing temperatures. If they have them in Antarctica, we have them in our attraction.
One more question. We're talking, grand scale, large expansions of theme parks going on in Orlando. Universal, of course, has the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Disney's working on the Fantasyland expansion. Antarctica, in the scope, in comparison to those, is it huge? Is it big? Is it along the same lines?
It's a full realm, so it's big. It's multiple acres of space that we're redeveloping as this new world, if you will, or realm, we like to call it. So it is equal in scale of those things, absolutely.
Great.
And there you have it, creative director Brian Morrow sharing as many details as he can at the moment for the upcoming expansion and attractions going to SeaWorld Orlando, and I think it's really worth noting all of those, even if you're not a fan of that park, or you're only a Disney fan, or you're only a Universal fan, or you are a fan of SeaWorld. It's a great time to be a theme park fan in general, because what one park does fuels the passion to develop more for another park, and it just keeps trickling down the chain. And I have to imagine something like this would not be coming to SeaWorld Orlando if it wasn't for what Universal and Disney are working on now. And just to see the themed entertainment experience growing and getting better and better and better is a wonderful thing for the whole theme park community, and certainly for fans who will get to enjoy it all with the new attractions opening next year at SeaWorld, and then subsequently Antarctica, which will be in 2013. And I really look forward to hearing more details about what this mysterious cold ride is going to be. They didn't have any more to share at this point, not even a name of the ride yet, not a ride system, although apparently it's going to be some sort of new state-of-the-art ride system something, and
and it will be a really exciting experience. So I'm definitely looking forward to finding out more details of that. I was also told that we should start to see signs of construction, the beginnings of it, for Antarctica as early as January. So we'll be on the lookout for that, and certainly keep you updated on what is to come with not only Turtle Trek and the Freshwater Oasis at Discovery Cove, but also Antarctica, and how it shapes up and compares with all the other experiences that Orlando has to offer. And now I do want to include one more little fun update here. It's been quite a while since we checked in with Nathan and his Living with Disney segments. If you're not familiar with this is where Nathan comes on the show and basically describes what it's like to live with a big Disney fan. And for the first time ever, Nathan actually has submitted a video segment to us. In addition, of course, if you're just listening, you will enjoy it as much as ever. But for those of you watching, you'll have a special video version of Living with Disney starting in just a moment here. You can enjoy hearing all about the latest installment and what it's like to live.
Oh, anything but that.
Hello, Disney enthusiasts and aficionados. This is Nathan S., the Doom Buggy driver, aka the Demon Hunter. And in case you didn't know, this is Living with Disney. Those of you who have family members and loved ones who love Disney so much that they have to compare everything with it. Those folks who plan every trip around Disney World or Disneyland, and no shopping trip would be complete without at least one stop to the Disney store, then this is for you, 'cause I can relate. Like you, I love Disney, but perhaps I'm not quite as much a Disney fanatic as those I live with. It's been a while since I've gotten to talk to you about all the things going on here in my home. My own lovely Disney extremist, Christy P., has been talking a lot about Disney lately. We've been planning our next Disney trip, but I may have not been quite as attentive to all her Disney needs as I should have been. You see, Doctor Who is back on the air, and poor Chrissy P. has to deal with my fanaticism for a change. I've been driving all over to Doctor Who premieres, hosting Doctor Who parties, and basically geeking out. I have yet to find a way to combine Disney and the Doctor to make her feel more comfortable on Saturday nights when my friends join me for our weekly Nerd Fest. But the real story is how I somehow missed something while I've been diving deeper and deeper into the TARDIS swimming pool. The idea of our trip to Disney World has somehow turned into a plan to move to Orlando so that we could be closer to Disney year-round. There has been talk like this before, of course, but never with quite the probability that this has. There has even been talk about having the tattoo on my forearm lasered off so I'd have a better chance of getting a job at one of the Disney parks. I find myself on the verge of yelling, "Brakes! Brakes! Where are the brakes?" How did this happen? Well, the way these things usually do. You get so involved with something, you miss everything going on around you. Now I find myself a little excited about the idea. Looking for apartments to rent, job hunting, just in case my tattoo removal takes 6 months. I'll need a job in the meantime. I'm just not sure about this. If I move to Mousetown, will I ever get a moment's peace? Will I be so submerged in everything going on I'll start seeing mermaids and sea monsters? There has already been talk about season passes and finding a house where we'll be able to see fireworks at night. I know that sounds great, but I grew up a farm boy. I spent most of my life looking for the most quiet place to live. I'm thinking nightly fireworks could get to me after a while. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing it would be a lot like having a thunderstorm in the distance every night. Of course, it is Florida, so that might not be too far from the truth either. I'm worried, folks. How much Disney will I be able to take if I'm living next door? And will the future segments be called Living in Disney? More to come, I hope. I may need to record some of these while I'm packing. As always, you can find me at the Ghostman and Demon Hunter show at ghostanddemon.com. Until then, hang on to them hats and glasses and keep living Disney.
Well, thanks very much, Nathan, and good luck with your potential move out here to Orlando. Hopefully, we'll get another update from you soon. It's been too long since our last Living with Disney installment, and look forward to hearing from you again in the near future. And hopefully, you haven't been already moved here and had tons of fireworks booming around you, and you're already tired of it and all that. So, good luck with your search.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky. Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Ricky, this is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Inside the Magic listener feedback.
Just a couple of quick emails to get to round out this week's show. First up, an email from Dave, who writes, there was a review of the new Steve Jobs biography in our local paper, and the reviewer said that Jobs saved Disney. I know the Pixar acquisition was important, but I don't seem to recall Disney being on the brink of extinction beforehand. Am I forgetting something, or was this a bit of an exaggeration? Dave, I think you're right. I don't believe Steve Jobs did save Disney by any means. Pixar certainly has been hugely instrumental in the success of Disney in recent years, over the last 15 years or so since Toy Story. But Disney was not disappearing. Their animation was certainly suffering toward the late 90s, and the notion of 2D hand-drawn animation even disappeared from Disney for a number of years. And perhaps that's what the author of your review, the review that you read, was kind of referring to, the fact that Pixar was sort of the rescue of animation at Disney, which I could definitely see. But Disney as a company, no. Steve Jobs definitely did not rescue the entire Walt Disney Company. Next, an email from Claire, who writes, I just listened to episode 344 and heard your request for Disney items that we were asking for Christmas. I am asking for a few books that I can't find in my local library. The Vault of Walt by Jim Korkis and Walt and the Promise of Progress City by Sam Genoway. The Vault of Walt has a look at some lesser-known stories about Walt Disney, and Progress City talks about the initial purchasing of land for Epcot and how city planning played an important role in its plans and development. Both sound like intriguing reads. Claire, thanks very much for those suggestions. If anyone else out there has some Disney items on your Christmas list that you're hoping to get, write in and we'll share it so that everybody can get a good idea of what to ask for Christmas. And finally, James wrote in response to a question on last week's show saying that Amazon, or at least third-party sellers on Amazon, do sell some items from Goofy's Candy Company. And, of course, Amazon purchases help out Inside the Magic as well. So if you just search for Goofy Candy Company through any of the Amazon links or through InsideTheMagic.net/Amazon, then, to the person writing in about that last week, perhaps you can find some candies or the like. They're not officially sold by Disney, so just be aware of that, but they are on there in some form. So that'll do it for listener feedback this week.
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow.
And that about wraps up show 345 of Inside the Magic. I do want to thank Magical Travel for sponsoring this week's episode of Inside the Magic. You can find out more about their services by visiting magicaltravel.com. And also, don't forget, you can get an Audible free trial over at audibletrial.com/InsideTheMagic. Get a free audiobook download and have access to over 85,000 titles to download and listen to on your iPod or MP3 player. And each sign-up is like making a donation to Inside the Magic, so appreciate that. Of course, if you're going to be doing any holiday shopping this year, as I've said, please do so through InsideTheMagic.net/Amazon. Click through there, add things to your cart, buy them, and we will get a tiny cut of whatever you purchase. Also helps to support the show. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the magic, the memories, and you holiday edition this week, as well as learning more about what's coming to SeaWorld Orlando. Lots of really fun and exciting things happening over the next few weeks. So lots of Christmas excitement that I am looking forward to seeing, the dancing lights over at Hollywood Studios and going to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party sometime in the near future. So much more Christmas fun from Disney coming up in the coming weeks here on Inside the Magic. I do want to mention once again, visit us over at lanyardlab.com to see all the different styles and custom lanyards options that we have. You can request a price quote today, receive a free digital preview of your lanyard design. And between episodes of this show, you can visit InsideTheMagic.net. We are your source for Disney and theme park news. You will not only find each week's show notes, but also all of our podcasts, videos, photos, news, articles, and so much more. And also find us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. You get all of our latest videos and up-to-date posts, live posts from the parks. All those links are over at the website, or you can just add /Inside the Magic to any of those services, and you will find us to keep up with all the latest. So, thanks to all of you for listening and watching each and every week. Don't forget to go out and watch the Magic Memories and You Christmas video this week, and have a magical week. Bye.
Just a dream away. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.